How's it going, guys? We had a nice 5-hour drive here, and there's nobody here, which is kind of crazy because usually this place is packed, and we're not sure if it's day use only or what, because none of the signs at the entrance have changed. So we're not certain. So we might get kicked out of here. We might not. But either way, it's a little bit of a break. So if we get kicked out, we get kicked out. If not, cool. And then we'll head up to another spot tomorrow that's more remote, which is about another hour-and-a-half drive. So we figured we'd stop here and at least take a break until we get kicked out of here. You guys remember this from previous videos? I don't know if I did an Adventures with Abel episode at this park. I'm going to let you guys try and figure out where we're at. I'll give you a hint. If you get caught harming animals here, it's a felony. Big time. It's a preserve, a wildlife preserve. So we're going to make some dinner and just hang out for a bit. In the winter, this is a giant lake. You can see the river kind of goes through over there. We have a, I don't know what kind of bird it is. It looks like a finch, but it's bigger. He's a bit bigger than a finch. He's got a yellow head. Where did he go? He was sitting right on the branch here next to me. Oh, have you guys ever had these before? They're a little warm. Yeah, they're addictive though. We see trucks driving around, but nobody's stopped by yet, so I don't know what the deal is. I do know that the other side of this area here, on the other side of this lake, there's a campground over there. And when I look up the information about it on the internet, it says it's open from 6 to 10. But on the wildlife side, it doesn't say, it says it's open all hours. So I'm not sure what to think about that. And you call the number and nobody answers, of course, because of the CVD 19. I don't know, maybe nobody will bother us. I don't know. We're going to find out. Happy birthday coming up to Abel. It's coming up, Abel. It's your birthday. You guys see I got new tags? Funny thing, the Oregon DMV sent me a renewal registration in the mail that said I had to go through DEQ. And so I had to fill out a exempt form because Oregon has a law that says if your vehicle weighs more than 8,500 pounds gross, that you don't have to go through DEQ. I found it kind of humorous that Abel weighs about 3 times the minimum, and they wanted me to go through DEQ. We did a brief test of the Wi-Fi booster, or the 4G booster, and I was at about, I don't know, out of 5 bars I was at 2. We turned it on and I went up to 4 bars. So it is working. The ultimate test will be when we're in an area that's remote and we're getting spotty connections to the internet to see if it actually gives us enough signal to like post an Instagram picture or something like that. So we'll test that out on this trip probably tomorrow, because we're going to be in an area where I don't think there's any signal at all, or there's a very weak signal. So, oh, and by the way, if you live in Oregon and you get one of these trucks registered as a motorhome, because of the hard work that myself and the people at the DMV and the state offices did to get these registered as motorhomes, you don't have to pay the commercial $600 plus per year for registration. My registration for 2 years was a whopping $308. So you get one of these, you get it set up with a box permanently attached to the bed, and you show sleeping and cooking quarters is what they define it as. You could throw a sleeping bag in there and put a little propane stove in there, and they will pass it with flying colors. Just let them know you're going to build it out into a motorhome, and they will give you the title as a motorhome. And then your registration is almost nothing. So there you go, another tip for you guys. Morning guys, I hope you enjoyed that early morning footage from Mavic. Hey, if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you enjoy the content you're seeing, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you want to see more, I've created playlists for every series that I have on my channel. So I have a bunch of different build series for different vehicles, and I have some random stuff, and I also have Adventures with Abel series, which is what you're watching right now. We slept really good last night. There was loud music in the distance up till about 2 a.m. and I heard gunshots throughout the night, so I'm not sure what was going on there, but let's check in with Willow and see what she's up to. What are you up to this morning, Willow?
I'm just chilling, watching the sun cast its beautiful hue and warmth across this marshy land. Listening to the birds, picking up some garbage.
Oh, that's garbage?
Yeah, part of a tire.
There's some golf balls and a tire. That's nice. It's always good to bring that stuff to a wildlife reserve. You never know when you can.
Human beings are a disease, a cancer of this planet. You are a plague.
Touch me, and that hand will never touch anything again.
Guys, if you tuned in last episode, we hinted at an area that we thought would be a really good spot to camp at. And we're going to make an attempt today to get to that spot. I'm hoping that it's not too muddy to get Abel up there. It wasn't too bad, but I'm not certain because of the weight of the vehicle. Sometimes they sink down more than us just walking on the road and everything. So we'll have to see how things go when we get up to that area. But I think you're really going to like it. So we're going to hang out here for a little bit this morning, and then we're going to pack up. And I'll get you some off-road footage when we get to that spot. And hopefully I can get Mavic up in the air too. So there's Abel up there at the top of the little mountain. Well guys, we made it up here, no problem. Was a little tight getting through some of the trees in there, but other than that, it wasn't bad at all. The ground up here is not mushy like I thought it would be, but look at all this open space. You could have a huge party of people up here. This is pretty awesome. We got a great view. I think we're gonna relax a bit. I think I'm gonna go for a run. And this is the spot that we previously mentioned in the most recent episode of Adventures with Abel. If you're new to the channel, check out my playlists and you can go back and review all of the Adventures with Abel series from when we got the truck to where we're at now. So anyhow, I hope you guys are doing well, and we're going to continue on our adventure. Good morning, guys. Check out the clouds there. It's going to be another awesome day up here in the middle of nowhere. Just the way we like it. Slept pretty good last night. Came out in the middle of the night and looked at the stars. It was pretty neat. It's too bad that I don't have a camera that can capture that. I think you guys would really appreciate it. Plans for today, a whole lot of nothing, but that's what we like. Willow's gonna go scout out a new spot on her motorcycle, and we're gonna pick up camp and head there for one more night, and then tomorrow morning early we're gonna head home, so that should be fun. I'm gonna do a short little feature here this morning for you guys, showing you what we do when we have downtime. That may be, you know, if it's nice outside, we're usually sitting outside, enjoying the outdoors, or we go running. We go running, and no matter what the weather is. I went for an 8-miler yesterday. My legs are pretty trashed because I don't have a very good VO2 max because of the altitude that we're at. So I'm used to running at sea level. So whenever we go up into altitude and I go running, it makes you feel like you're a lot heavier than you really are. And so I probably went 9 miles, but walked about a mile of it off and on. So that's pretty crazy. I actually went to, I don't know if we can see it here on the camera. In the background here, there is a opening in the plains over there. I ran on a trail that leads out from this area all the way over to that spot. So, but if we're not, you know, running and it's nice out, we usually have our chairs set up and we're just hanging out in the chairs, enjoying nature. But I'm going to show you what we do inside the shelter when we have downtime. I got a couple cool little electronic doodads that we use, and I'll show you how that works. So when we have downtime, we've got a cool little setup here in the shelter. It's very simple. It's a 32-inch TV and a Samsung tablet, and then I've got another little project that I just recently finished here in the cabinet. I'll show you that in a minute. But we just turn basically we just turn the tablet on and the HD TV, and we let that get fired up. And then once that's set up, we've got a remote here, and I usually set this down on my little coffee table / bench there. These tablets, you can get these now for pretty cheap. I think I got a couple of these for $40 each on eBay, but they're pretty handy to have. We use one of them for GPS Avenza app, and then this one we use for the Mavic drone and entertainment. So this cable you can get off of Amazon. It connects to any Samsung tablet or Android tablet, and it's an HDMI / USB charging cable that it's a pass-through that goes into the HDMI inputs on these TVs. So we got Prime Video, and if you go in here and it's offline, I think it automatically goes into your downloads. Yeah, so these are movies that I've saved off of Amazon Prime, and we just watch those when we have some downtime, usually at the end of the day when we're winding down and getting ready for bed. We watch these. But anyways, you could download movies off Amazon Prime if you have Amazon Prime. You can do it on Netflix too. The reason I don't have it on this tablet is this tablet's firmware or only updates to a certain level, and you have to modify it and hack it to go further than that. And there's enough stuff on Amazon Prime to watch it. We just use that, so it's so much simpler. Okay, now that I've shown you that, the other thing that I have, I just did this recently, is I got a little PlayStation Classic, and these are like $30 on Amazon, right? And they come with 20 games on them. But what I did is I bought an OTG cable for it. So the power comes in one side, and it's got a USB input, and then it passes through to the inside of the PlayStation. And then I have a 256 gigabyte SanDisk Cruiser that's loaded up with a ton of games on it, and I'll show you here in a minute. And then two 8-bit DO adapters that connect to PlayStation 3 controllers, and I had a bunch of PlayStation 3 controllers around, so this worked out great. This whole setup probably cost me less than $100. So I'll turn it on here and show you guys what exactly is on it so you can kind of see. We haven't used this that much yet. I just kind of messed around with it to get it set up. So let's see here. Get the TV turned on again here. Okay, so this is the latest version of AutoBleem, which is basically a front end for this little PlayStation Classic. And then one of these controllers should work for port 1. And so you've got a bunch of different options on here, but I usually just go into RetroArch. And this is a front end emulator for tens of thousands of games. And I spent a week setting this up, going through and getting this set up. But look at all this stuff that you've got on here. Each one of these is a separate folder for a different system. So you've got Atari 2600, Atari 7800, Atari Lynx, so on and so forth. You can even emulate PS1 games. I've got an old Outrun arcade game on here, but I mean, on the MAME games here, I think I've got 10,000 MAME games, and they're all in alphabetical order, along with all the box art and the screenshots and everything. I had to spend days getting all this stuff set up, but basically we have all of this stuff set up, and then let me just do a quick example. If I go into like one game, let's go into a popular one here. Let's go into like 1943 and see if it'll load up. I think that's 2003 standard. And sometimes you got to pick a different core to get the game to load, and sometimes the system freezes because it's older. But here we go. We've got 1943. It loaded up right away. And you can change the screen dimensions. There's thousands of options on here. But I thought it was pretty neat to be able to set this system up and then be able to carry something small like this along with us in case we had a lot of downtime at some point. But anyhow, that's basically what we end up doing when we have downtime. But anyhow, yeah, so there you go. That's what we do when we have downtime and we need some entertainment or whatnot. And pretty cool to be able to have all that stuff with us. Okay, that's it. This was about 3 or 4 miles from our original spot. Willow scouted out a bunch of spots, but there's so many people up here right now with their trailers and non-off-road motorhomes, and so most of the easy access spots are taken, and of course these spots that are hard to get to because people don't want to risk losing everything are wide open. One of the reasons we built Abel is to be able to get to these spots and not have to deal with other people and their camper and their 10 kids and their late night drinking and playing music loud and all that good stuff that comes with the Flatlanders, I guess you could call them. This is a really cool spot. I don't know what this thing is. It must have been a fence post at one time, but now it doesn't look like anything except something that people have launched fireworks off of. So I'm not quite certain what's going on there, but I believe that's Antelope Reservoir down there. Not sure what this is. More trash. Yeah.
Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction.
Wonderful. So it looks like there's a little lake down there. And that's Antelope. And then you can see the highway in the distance there that we came in on. So we're going to stay here for the night. And then we're going to get up super early. Got to make a pit stop in Portland at a Home Depot to pick up some supplies for Rusty. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet and you're not watching the Rusty build, you may want to stay tuned. I've made some great progress on him in the last 6 months since we've got him. And that build's going to continue on my channel. And of course, as always, we will continue to update you guys with the Adventures of Abel series as we see fit and we go out and enjoy some of these epic spots around the Pacific Northwest. What an awesome view. If you guys are interested in getting one of these trucks, my friend Martin at fmtvsales.com. Once again, his name is Martin at fmtvsales.com. Has about 30 of these in stock right now, ready to be reconditioned. So basically how his program works is you go down, you look at the ones he has in stock, you pick out the one you want for reconditioning, you put a down payment down, and he'll get it in the queue for reconditioning. And then once the truck is completed and reconditioned, you can go pick it up, and they all come with a 6-month warranty, which is really cool because there's only one other company that I know of that comes with a warranty. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's Acela, but anyhow, he runs a really good program for getting people into these trucks. And of course, you can build whatever you want with one. If you go the motorhome route and you're in Oregon, you can get a motorhome registration for them, and then your registration each year is really cheap, or every 2 years actually. But other than that, that's my plug for this video. Hope you guys are staying safe, and we're going to continue to enjoy our day up here. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that footage from Mavic. That's probably going to be the last flight footage this episode. But I wanted to touch base with you guys about this shade sail. And this is an idea that Willow came up with that works out really well for setting up shade. And it's not expensive and it's easy to set up. And the materials that you need cost less than $100. So basically all you need is some of these rubber trucking straps and 2 concrete form pins. You normally see these on construction sites, or you can get them at hardware stores or whatnot. So you need a couple of those. I'd say at least 2 feet long just to be safe. And then a couple carabiners. And these shade sails, you can get them off Amazon in different sizes. Pick out a size that's going to work best for your setup. If you want, you could get a longer one that extends all the way to the front of the cab. For us, that was a little extreme because it's just 2 of us sitting under the shade sail. So this is just something that I wanted to show you guys. And it's a quick, cheap, easy fix for those of you that don't want to spend a lot of time figuring something out to set up a shade or put a retractable awning on there and then risk damaging that, because those things get really expensive. So anyhow, just a quick little tip. We both thought that this ring of rocks was pretty odd. Like, why would somebody put so much effort into making a ring of rocks like this? Because it's obviously man-made. But then when you walk over here and you look at the center of it, there used to be an H painted here, which would obviously designate this as a helicopter landing area. That's crazy. I wonder if it's for like life flight or if it's for forest service or forest fires or something like that. I don't know. But there definitely was an H painted here at one time. And maybe they still consider this a landing spot for helicopters for whatever reason. But look at the whole ring. Crazy. And would make sense too, because we're not very far from the main road. Maybe a mile, if that. So something neat. Here's another oddity. Does anybody know what this is supposed to be for? Like, I can't figure out if it used to be for some sort of communication or if it was for part of a fence, but there's no other fence posts up here. Somebody put a lot of effort into concreting this in and putting all this bolts and hardware stuff on it. If you know what this is, comment down below and let me know what you think it is, or if you actually know what it is for sure, or what it was, obviously. I don't see anything else coming up from down the hill that matches it, so I'm not quite certain what it is. That you need costs less than $100. So basically all you need is some of these rubber trucking straps.